It's time for a virtual campfire sit-down with Terry Wyce. Welcome to Wyce Thoughts.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Wyce Thoughts. I am Terry Wyce. That is correct. That is I. And I am so glad that you decided to join us today for this episode of the podcast. And just before we get started and get underway, a few little cleaning duties to do, or house cleaning as some people like to call it. WyceThoughts.com is the podcast website. And, you know, I'm still a little undecided, I guess. Undecided is going to be the word I'm going to use on whether or not I'm going to just keep that domain name for the podcast because, honestly, I don't know. I've got feedback from some of you saying, yeah, the website, it's great to go there, but why don't you, maybe you can spend that money somewhere else, But, I got a pretty good deal through the podcast, so what can I say? But WyceThoughts.com. You can also listen to us, obviously, if you found us on your favorite podcast provider through a link. Just, follow the show there, Wyce Thoughts. And I got a YouTube channel. Just look for Wyce Thoughts on YouTube. And I have a website, terrywyce.com. W-I-C-E is how I spell my last name. And some of you have spelled it W-E-I-S-S. And, I've had all kinds of spellings of my last name, which is kind of funny. But that's okay. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. As long as you eventually get to the place where you need to be at, which is one of my websites, terrywyce.com or wycethoughts.com for the podcast. I am also on social media at X. Well, I used to say you can tweet at me on Twitter, but now you can't, so okay. So anyway, terrywyce.com. Tweet at me on Twitter at terrywyce. And so many other ways to find and get a hold of myself. There was something dinging in the background. I'm not exactly sure what that was. That was rather odd, but hey, weirder things have happened on the podcast. I'll tell you that. Stranger things have happened on the show. So anyway, welcome one and all. Welcome to the program. I am so glad you're here today. And we are going to explore a bunch of stuff on the podcast today. And delve into many a thing. But as we get into the silly season and the holidays, some people call it the silly season, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, hey, your holiday shopping. Are you doing a lot with your holiday shopping? And we're going to talk about the mindset during the holidays that maybe you have or you run into other people that they have. Do you find yourself getting grumpier, more stressed around the holidays, or do you tend to kick back and relax? But before we do all that, we've got to do this.
It's that time again. It's time for the Wordsmith Word of the Episode.
That's right. It's time for the Wordsmith Word of the Episode. That's where you can learn a new word along with myself and show everybody how big your brain is. And on this week's episode of the podcast, the Wordsmith Word of the Episode is brute. B-R-U-I-T. We don't have our lovely assistant, our artificial voice assistant, I guess you would call her, to help us with that. Brute. B-R-U-I-T. It is a noun, and its sense is a report or a rumor. Or if you use it in the verb, as a verb, it's to spread or report a rumor widely. A couple instances where you can use brute in a sentence. It's just a brute. But I heard that there's a surprise musical guest lined up for the last night of the festival. Or you can use it in this sense: until all the facts are in, don't brute around any information. Or have you heard the brute that we're getting next week off? That's brute. B-R-U-I-T. So there you go. You got a nice big brain now with this week's episode, word of the episode. I'll spit that out one of these eons. So how are you? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to all that we call Wyce Thoughts. And I am so glad that you've again decided to join us today for the podcast. and want to know how you doing, how you feeling. It's that time of the year, my friends. Yes, I'm going to take a little sip of water. Sorry about that. Little sip of water, because you got to have hydration when you're doing all this, trust me. So it's that time of the year again. It's that time of the year where we all get ready and we start buying gifts for loved ones and acquaintances and friends and what have you. After Thanksgiving, the sales really ramp up. And, whoa, look at that. All that noise going on. Apologies if you hear that. We'll try to edit that out in post, being an audio professional that I am. So it is that time of the year, and it's time for what some people call the holiday season, or some maybe more pessimistic folks, or maybe some more layman people call it the silly season. And we ramp up heading towards Christmas and New Year's and parties and everything of that nature, where some people really get stressed out about it. Some people really find themselves in a whirlwind of, trying to find the right gift for everyone, putting pressure on themselves if they're hosting a party, where they're ruminating maybe over having to deal with loved ones and friends that they really don't keep in contact with, but now have to make the obligatory good faith showing, I guess, would be the easiest way to describe it. And some of us, unfortunately, have lost friends or loved ones in the past year or years, and this time of year can really bring you down emotionally and mentally, because maybe, you have that loved one or friend, spouse, what have you, that you really made some lifetime memories with, and the holidays here just remind you of that loss. So, we have things like SAD, seasonal affective, I believe, disorder is the acronym that encompasses. So I guess I'm asking, this time of the year, do you get wrapped up in, the all the good that it can bring out in people, the happiness, the togetherness, the forgiveness, I guess, would be a big one. Forgiveness would be definitely a big one at this time of year. Or do you find yourself maybe, ruminating on the opposite side of the spectrum and feeling lonely or dejected? I tend to find myself, I lean more towards trying to remain positive, happier, as it were, and just enjoy the holidays, just enjoy everything that the holidays have to offer. And I look at it, too, as a opportunity for softening my heart and being more forgiving and more open as well. And I would hope that a lot of people would think that this time of the year, especially this time of the year, because let's face it, guys and gals and pets of all ages, there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot out there that can really bring you down and make you sad, even elicit anger or feelings of contempt in some cases. And I think that the holidays, especially, around the Christmas holiday, whether you celebrate Christmas or not is entirely up to you. I know a lot of folks out there don't celebrate Christmas in the traditional Christian sense. They have different holidays. There's Kwanzaa, there's, all different factions and groups and that have different meanings to this time of the year. But I think one thing I would hope that we could fundamentally agree on is the fact that while there may be differences in groups and organizations and of people that celebrate this time of year, that we could focus on the good, focus on love, focus on bringing the human race together and being kinder and gentler to our fellow human being, and reaching out, especially reaching out to those in need this time of the year, which is really vitally important, especially around the world with all that's been going on with the calamity and the wars and, the cost of living, depending on the country you're in, has gone up substantially. Substantially, the cost of living has gone up. So helping those in need, reaching out to the infirmed and maybe those that may have been left behind by society. Now is the time to rekindle connections and show those people. I mean, because look at it this way. You may be, by reaching out to someone in need or doing an act of kindness, anything like that, you may be that person's last best hope. You may be the one that turns them and helps turn their life around and make them see, oh, there is still good left in the world. There is humanity left. That's important because in today's techno-modern world, we all get wrapped up in technology and social media and who's got the most likes or who's trending, who's going viral. A lot of folks put a lot of stock in those things. And while, okay, it's cute and funny and sometimes you need it for your business or, depending on the type of business that you're doing, I get that. However, that being said, there's more to life than, air quotes, going viral. There's a lot more to life than that. It's humanity. It's being a human being. That's what we need. And I don't know. Some would argue that we as a human being, as a human species, have lost that ability to connect, to really connect. We're connecting in ways that are unprecedented. Electronically, I can sit here and produce this podcast here for you all today, and it can be listened to around the world, even in outer space, if someone was to take a recorded version of Wyce Thoughts to outer space. I mean, we can connect with people in nanoseconds, either with audio or video. Think about this. We can chat with people around the world. We can go into, Zoom calls or Microsoft Teams meetings or Google Hangouts or what have you on platforms and stay in touch with relatives that, normally it would have been a phone call decades ago, a decade or two ago, right? But we can visually now, as well as, with the audio, visually see, interact with people and individuals, which at its core is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. At its core, it's a wonderful thing to be able to do that and have that ability to interact. However, with technology comes great responsibility. And if you just look at the mess that social media causes and can cause, you can sit back and say, But anyway, getting back on point here, I digress. This time of the year, with the shopping and the holiday shopping, I find that sometimes the holidays are being too commercialized. I've been saying that for well over a decade, and it's been increasingly getting worse and worse with, take advantage of this sale, take advantage of that sale, buy now. I had mentioned on a previous episode here of Wyce Thoughts, if you go back an episode or two, that I started seeing advertisements for shopping, for the holidays during October. Halloween hadn't even come and gone, man. Come on. Are you kidding me? In October, seeing advertisements for, hey, come, buy this product. Start shopping for Christmas now. And I'm like, can we at least get through Halloween and maybe get close to Thanksgiving, before we start pumping out the, the corporate things for shopping? Can we kind of enjoy fall a little bit here? That would be nice. And that can bring you down, too. I've heard some people complain about that, and it kind of gets them in a grumpy mood right from the get-go. It's like, all they want is your money. All they want is your money. Yeah, they're a business. I get it. But that being said, this is, I think, an opportunity every year. Every year, this is an opportunity for all of us to kind of do a little mental house cleaning, a little mental winter cleaning, as it were, to say, all right, check, or the younger generation says, they call it checking yourself. Hey, man, you better check yourself. That means sit back, take a deep introspective look at what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and what residual outcomes are. And I think it's a great opportunity for something like that, absolutely. And I find I need it, and I try to incorporate that. And one good thing to do is kind of even put it on your calendar, because we can get so wrapped up in things we're doing and, multitasking and going at everything 100 miles an hour that sometimes I have found, at least over the past year or two, especially, that it's good to just schedule in a mental check-in for yourself, whether it be, a 15-minute meditation or a 5-minute meditation once a week, to just clear the mind, clear the trash, clear the negativity, and get back to your roots and really get in touch with you. I think a lot of societal issues, and again, I'm no psychologist, I have no degree, I have no formal mental or medical training. This is just a personal observation from yours truly, Terry Wyce, is that we get so wrapped up in ourselves. We get so wrapped up in what we want. And we get so wrapped up in our own world, okay? And the outside pressures, or some might even go as far to say influences, the constant bombardment of information and how you should act, how you should think about this, how you should feel about that, what you should do. There's a lot of people out here telling us what we should be doing, okay? Excuse me. There's a lot of people out here telling us what we should be doing, what we should be feeling, how we should be acting. However, you need to get to know you, and I think a lot of societal problems stem from us not really knowing ourselves. And I have found, this might be the case if you do this now or if you start practicing this, I have found the more I get in touch with me, the more happier I am, the more calm I am, the more at peace I am by just getting in touch with myself. I was really amazed once I started I started it by basic breathing techniques, taking 10 minutes a day using the old Apple Watch app, the Breathe app on the Apple Watch, and just sitting. I started a sitting position, just doing some really conscious breathing to relax myself. And I started out at 10 minutes a day. Then I went up to 15 to 20 minutes a day, just little 5-minute spurts here and there on the app itself. And I was amazed after a couple of weeks of my pulse actually, dropped by about 3 to 4 points per day. My resting pulse rate, resting heart rate. I was like, something's changed here. And I also noticed my mind was, how do I express it? Clearer, able to handle, like if something came up, I didn't, just go, and freak out, and stress out as easily. I was more able to handle if something of an odd nature tried to throw my day off. I was like, oh, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I know it sounds probably maybe comical to some of you out there or insignificant, but I'll tell you what, if you're not practicing this, give it a shot, especially now as we are into the holiday season. And a lot of us can get overwhelmed really quick because not only is there the day-to-day goings on, but now you throw in a couple major holidays here in the next 30 days and parties and obligations. And do I go to this party? Do I go to that party? I got to deal with this person that I really don't, see eye to eye on, or I got to deal with this relative or this family member, or this happens or that. Oh, I got to buy a gift for that. I got to get that. And, don't put the undue pressure on yourself. I would say enjoy the holidays. Try to look at it as an opportunity for emotional house cleaning, tidying up, if you will, on your emotional state, and use it for yourself as well as for introspective reflection. You hear me mention that a lot on this podcast. I'm really big about introspective reflection, and I don't say it on a lot of the episodes to preach to you, mind you. I say it also to help me and remind myself for constant introspective reflection, or IR. You know, they have AI. Well, we can talk about here on Wyce Thoughts, IR, introspective reflection. Some people call it meditation. I call it introspective reflection. It gives you a chance to get to know you. And so while you're out there shopping this holiday season, doing your errands, deciding which functions you may or may not attend, dealing with the weather depending on the part of the world or country you're in. Here in the United States, in the Northeast, it's winter season, so you can make all the best laid plans, and a winter storm might just take all that and go, So, try and take it all in stride. Try to take everything in stride. Have a good heart. Have a joyous spirit this holiday season, and remember that it's not about the commercialism of the holidays. Even though you're going to get bombarded with tons of ads from advertisers of all, retail and travel and everything. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast, as they say. It's that time of the year where we're going to get bombarded with all these ads, okay? Just remember, take it all in stride. Do some introspective reflection. Take care of yourself. Get proper sleep, proper nutrition, exercise in some way, shape, or manner or form. Do something that's relaxing for you, whether it's reading, singing, walking, talking, listening to nice music, lighting a aromatherapy candle, something like that. Do something for you and just take it all in stride, and remember that the best thing about being a human being is being alive. Though we all have troubles, we all have things that come our way, this too shall pass. Enjoy the holiday season. Use it as a time to reconnect with loved ones. Remember those that have departed. Celebrate life. Celebrate all the good that humanity has to offer. Don't let what some people label as the silly season drive you silly and insane. Just enjoy the ride, like I said. It's we only get one trip around this great blue orb, in this blue orb called Earth. We only get one trip around, as far as I know, in life. Some of you believe that we come back. Well, hey man, that's cool. That's your thing. But we only get one trip in life. It's a one-way journey, as far as I know. I mean, once you're born, that's it. It's a one-way road, man. You can't, go backwards. Until they invent time travel, but there's other podcasts about time travel for that. Enjoy it. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy your loved ones. Enjoy your family, friends, acquaintances, what have you. Be good to yourself. Be kind to one another.
Hey, thanks for listening to the program today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you out there. And remember, to see a change in the world, you have to be the change in the world you want to see. It all starts with you, the person looking back at you in the mirror every morning. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. If you want to tweet at me on Twitter, it's at Terry Wyce. Stop by the website, wycethoughts.com, just to make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E, wycethoughts.com. And hey, leave us a positive rating and review on your favorite podcast provider, won't you? Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets about Wyce Thoughts. And I look forward to gathering yet again around the virtual campfire with you real soon. Take care.